Alright guys, so since it's the beginning of 2020, we're going to start off by ranking all of the heroes and villains in the next video in Battlefront 2. The game changed a whole bunch last year, so I figured we'd see where they are at the beginning of the year, see where they are at the end of the year, and we can compare. And the first one for the heroes, if you haven't guessed, you should have by now, because it's Finn. I mean, obviously. Don't think there's a lot of debate here. He's pretty much useless. I mean, only one of his abilities are good. He has the auto-aim ability, which it doesn't, as far as I know, doesn't do extra damage. It just auto-aims for you, so as long as you're competent enough to aim, that ability is useless. He has his leader ability, which I guess is alright, but I mean, like, the officer can do that. And then his pistol ability, his RB or R1, whatever you're playing on, ability is probably his only reason to be picked. That ability is halfway decent. His blaster's alright, but overall, he's definitely the worst of the heroes, so he's starting off the list at the bottom. So number 9 is going to be Leia. And you're probably thinking that I don't know what I'm talking about, that, you know, Leia's really good. If you haven't played her, like, recently, go back and play her again, because I thought she was really good. And then when I was making this video, when I was playing as her, I was like, Leia sucks. Like, this blaster that she has, her automatic, her LBRB ability, is absolute garbage. I don't know if I just had the settings wrong on what I was playing, or if I was just using it wrong, but, like, it's terrible. Her explosive shot's alright. It's nothing fantastic. Her main blaster's good. You know, it's a viable option. Her flash thing is an okay ability. I mean, it works. It serves its function. And her shield, if you have the right star cards on it, can be good. So basically, again, kind of the same problem as Finn. Only one of her abilities, maybe two, are like good, solid abilities. And her gun's alright. And she just, you know, compared to some of the other choices you have, she's definitely low on the list. So in this next category, we're going to be talking about heroes that are okay. They're not fantastic, they're not great, but they're definitely not bad. Okay, so obviously here at 7, we have Chewbacca. And Chewbacca, and by the way, if this wasn't clear, all of this ranking is mainly pointed towards Capital Supremacy and Galactic Assault. Heroes versus Villains is an entirely different list. Alright, so Chewbacca, in those two game modes I just mentioned, is just okay. His bolt caster thing, not his ability, just his main weapon, is pretty decent. It's pretty good, depending on what kind of unit you're using it on, you know, all those statistics. And then his shot grenade is probably his most iffy ability with no star cards on it. If you put star cards on it, it's good. But against regular infantry units, it's iffy. You gotta have a big clunk of them together to use it right. And then his two other abilities are good, are solid abilities, no problems with them. The ground pound smacks everybody. You're gonna clear everyone out. That's good for objective gameplay. And then his blaster upgraded ability, it's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely more, I would say, more hero-based weapon than for just, you know, if you're fighting one enemy. And again, kind of the purpose of all of this isn't for, like, one-on-one enemy. I mean, any of these heroes, even Finn, you should be able to take a one-on-one player. This is mainly for you're playing a game mode, there's like 9 dudes in front of you, and you need to freaking flex on everybody, kill them all. Alright, so that's kind of Chewbacca. He's kind of in the low middle. He's alright, but he's not great. So next is someone that I was surprised that I put this low, and that's Rey. And not again, Rey is not bad. There's definitely people who are better than me as Rey. So, you know, if you know how to play her better, she's probably a better option with the right star card loadout and all of that. But I remember her being just significantly better than this. And again, the last time I probably played Rey was a long time ago. I've been playing, you know, Anakin, ObiWan, Darth Maul, because I've been playing as Capital Supremacy. So I haven't played some of these heroes in a long time. But Rey's abilities are all solid. She has the ability that lets her see enemies through walls and all of that, which is always useful. Mind Trick's good for, like, large groups of enemies. and then of course against villains. So that's just a strong move all around that is going to be more situational with actual infantry units, but in like game modes like heroes versus villains like I was talking about earlier, it's a good ability. And then her charge, I don't have the right star cards on it here. It's not doing what I remember it doing unless they just super nerfed it. But if you put the right star cards on it and you kind of know how to use it, you know what amount of damage is worth taking for the output, then it can be a really good ability. I get a couple of good run-throughs with it here, like just kill multiple enemies in a row, which is kind of how you want to use it. But it's definitely good in heroes versus villains. I mean, you can knock people on their ass with this ability. So Rey is kind of another one of those heroes where I think in the game modes I play, she's not the greatest, but in like something like heroes versus villains, she'd definitely be way higher up on the list. So my next two are really interchangeable. Like, depending on the map, or what objective you're on what map, or, just so many different things, they can be completely interchanged. I don't really like one more than the other. The only way I put this the way I put it is just because I had to choose one. So obviously here I put Han lower than I put Lando. And Lando's going to be the next one, just right on top of Han, purely because of the abilities. Alright, Han Solo has some decent abilities, like this blaster is really good. His detonating charge is really good. His shoulder charge is better for villains. But I just feel Lando's abilities are so much better for the game modes that we're talking about here. And that's pretty much the only reason Lando is higher up than Han. Lando's ability, we can lock onto multiple people, and his smoke, and just all of his abilities are really, really good in Capital Supremacy, if you could play him in Capital Supremacy, in Galactic Assault. That's kind of what we're talking about here, so that's the only reason I ranked these two this close together. So this next tier, starting off with Yoda, alright, this is the good tier. Like, you can't go wrong picking these, and Yoda's gonna be the only one in this tier before we skip to the next one. But this is you can't go wrong picking these characters. They have good abilities, good health, good lightsaber strikes, good blocks, all that stuff. Alright, so let's talk about Yoda. I think Yoda's super underrated, alright? Because, one, he can give himself and other people health. 2, he's impossible to hit. 3, his block is the most slept on move in this whole game. You literally block bullets. And don't say, well, you're playing against the AI, you idiot. Real players aren't gonna yes, they will. But the AI is harder than some of the people who play this game, and you know it. Alright? So, his block, you can just block and block and block. They're just gonna keep shooting you. Because they're just dumb. And they're just gonna keep shooting you over and over and over. And it builds up the force, and then you kill everybody in front of you, basically. Great move. It's just like Anakin's, alright? And then his jump little maneuver, his RB here, it's not, I don't like it as much as Darth Maul's, but I definitely like it. It's good. Yoda's only downside is it takes him a couple hits to take somebody out. I think it's only 2, but I feel like, you can't be sitting there in a 45-minute punch-and fest with Yoda. You got to be moving, using that force ability, flipping around because ain't nobody can hit you. And that's kind of why I put Yoda really high. Mainly just because of his push ability, his health ability, and just because he's so hard to hit. Alright, so next we're entering, these characters need to be nerfed tier, but please don't, because I like playing as them. So, these next two, between ObiWan and the next one, I could not decide. I sat here for a while. Alright? And ObiWan is really good, if you use him right. Okay? His mind trick against, again, like Rey, either large groups of enemies or villains, is great. You can just smack people around when you've used that. His force push has a huge range and a huge damage when you have it upgraded all of the way. It's a great move. And then his charge ability is probably, thinking about it, the only charge ability in the game that works really well. Because we have General Grievous, we have Han Solo, we have Obi-Wan. I'm sure somebody else has a charge ability that I'm forgetting about. But I think it's the one that works the best, because you're blocking bullets, blasters, whatever you want to call them. You're dealing damage to anyone you kind of walk by, and then if you press the attack button, RT on Xbox, at the end of the move, or whenever you want to cancel the move, you do this swing, which will usually, depending on the health of the enemy, one-hit enemies. So that's great. All three of his abilities are really solid. His block stamina is great. His health is a fair balance. He can swing for a while before he runs out of breath. I would definitely say that before he runs out of breath, it's called stamina. I would definitely say that ObiWan is a more defensive player. I mean, you can play him offensively, but I would definitely say his abilities and his health and all of that suit a more defensive kind of push some people back, maybe, you know, when they're not expecting it, charge them, get a couple kills off that, fall back again. That's kind of more of the playstyle I see for ObiWan, but you can play ObiWan however you want. So next to number 2. Alright, let me tell you about Luke here. One, the only reason I put him higher than ObiWan is because his force push just activates quicker. It's a much quicker activation time between pressing the button and letting it go. I know you can release it early with ObiWan, but you still get the max damage with Luke, just doing it quick and fast, getting the move out there and moving on. Alright? But let me tell you about Luke before we break him down anymore. I remember Luke sucking, like being like really bad. Again, I probably haven't played Luke in a year. I just remember him being garbage. Alright? But Luke's really good. Like, his force push smacks people around. Alright? That's just an amazing ability. Alright? His ground pound impulse ability is really good. I'm pretty sure that was always pretty solid. But still, regardless, it's a really good ability for large groups of enemies. Or heroes versus villains, knocking the enemies down. And then, again, he has that rush ability that I was talking about, kind of with ObiWan and with Yoda and Darth Maul and all of that. It's not as strong as any of the other characters, or at least with the star cards I have on it. It's not as great as I would like it to be, but it's definitely a strong ability. I definitely like it a lot. Luke does a decent amount of damage with his lightsaber attacks, you know, depending on the enemy type, of course. And he's really fast. I did not know that Luke was this fast, because I'm flying around as Luke. And there's only one person in this whole game, or at least on the hero side, that tops Luke. And let me tell you, I am majorly biased, so you should have seen this coming, but number 1's Anakin. So at number 1, we have Anakin, and I can already tell you now, when we get to the video that's talking about the heroes and the villains, and I put them in a combined list and rank them with, you know, against each other, Anakin's going to be number 1. I'm just letting you know now. Alright, so Anakin's too OP. Like I'm not going to lie. I mean, they nerfed him, but he's still too OP. You know, there's no saying that in any other way. All of his abilities are really good. He has an obnoxious amount of health. His lightsaber strikes are fast and deal a lot of damage. Alright, so let's break it down in case you're new to the game, got it for Christmas or something, and don't know how to play Anakin for some reason. Alright, so you got your force pull, which, depending on the enemy type and again the star cards you have, it'll kill some people, low enough health, but mainly it'll pull them towards you, and then you can just hit them once or twice and they're dead. So, you know, you can just pull 5 people before they get up, knock them all down, you're good. Alright, and then this is kind of the same thing as I was talking about earlier with Yoda. His LBRB ability, his absorb, whatever you want to call that. So you stand there, and you can activate it instantly, like I did there, or you can get shot, and get shot, and get shot, and you take a small amount of damage. But the more you get shot, the bigger the radius is, and the bigger the damage is. Like I was saying with Yoda, it's not just the AI. Real players do it too. They will just shoot you and continue to keep shooting you while you charge up this ability, and then you kill all of them in one swoop. Alright? I don't know why people don't comprehend how the ability works, but that is how it works, and that is how you kill everybody. Alright? Use that in the hallway, and you killed everybody. Good job. Alright? That, in combination with force pull, you're OP. You just wiped out a whole squad. Alright? His strike, his RB ability, it's not really great for like infantry, like for light units, even heavies. Like I would use it on like battle droids. You can use it on, some of the special classes. Stuff like the commando droid, the B2, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of what you want to use it on. And then obviously villains. It knocks them down, does a huge amount of damage. Alright, and then honestly, the only complaint I have about Anakin, and I understand why this isn't a thing because he's already OP, but regardless, Anakin and Darth Vader should switch healths. Alright, Anakin, with the star cards I believe has 900 health, max health. And then Darth Vader, I believe, has 1100 health. That's before like his boosted move and all of that, where it brings him up to like 1300 or whatever. But, I think Anakin, realistically, should have more health than Darth Vader. Now, I understand balancing reasons why he does not. Because if you gave Anakin, like, oh, it's only 200 more health, what could it do? If you gave Anakin 200 more health, he'd be super OP. Alright? And then one more ability that I want to talk about for Anakin that I almost forgot about, because they super nerfed this ability, is if you see at the bottom of his little ability tree over there, he has that bottom ability that's been charging up as I've been killing people, getting shot, all that, right? And once that charges up, as you can see there, it has a little number on it. That's how you know it's good. That's how many people you're going to affect with it. It's a hold Y ability. You hold Y to use this. A couple characters have this. And let me tell you, this ability is so OP. I understand why they nerfed it. Realistically, in a real game of Galactic Assault, you probably won't be alive long enough, or the game won't last enough for you to even get this ability. In Capital Supremacy, you can get it. But let me show you what this ability does first, and then I'll come back and tell you why it's OP. So yeah, for fairly obvious reasons, you kind of just force choke everybody, and then throw them. And if they wouldn't have died from the force choking, the throw does some damage also. And honestly, the best way to use that ability is try to get a villain and a whole bunch of infantry. And you can kill like almost all of the infantry, except for maybe some of the special units. And you can take out like half the health of the villain. So honestly, that ability is super OP, but again, they nerfed it, so it's fine. It's really hard to get. I rarely see people use it. Alright, so it's a good thing I decided to split this video into two, because this is already a long video, alright? But this is my heroes ranked. Next, we'll do my villains ranked, and then we'll do a list combining the two. Alright, if you guys agree with the list, disagree with the list, think Finn is the best person, well, don't comment if you think Finn's the best person, because something wrong with you. But anyways, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Wait, hold on. Disney, don't copyright strike me again. The freaking audio is on -23, alright? Nobody can hear it. So don't copyright strike me, please.